Not looking for any widespread acceptance or avalanche of support by the Hall of Fame, baseball, the media, or society at large, just seeking to right some wrongs because it's problematic what has happened to deserving players. Greetings, good people. Welcome to a book reading of Tell Me Again, Why These Mostly Black Players Are Not in the Hall of Fame. Is it racial? My name is Sheldon Curry. I'm the author of the book, a book I finished in August 2021. And I'm hoping that my excerpts will give you a good feel for what the book is. It's a book that juxtaposes race, bias in the Baseball Hall of Fame process. It's centered around me profiling 13 deserving black players who should have been in the Hall of Fame that played primarily between 1950 and 1980. And I also profiled 15 Negro League players, and there was a dozen or so other topics that I dealt with. And one of the themes in the book was to ensure that people know that I believe that the Baseball Hall of Fame process, though not life and death, is a microcosm of American society, because when they fail to properly honor black folks, it's easier to demonize us and do the things that we've seen, unfortunately, throughout our history here. Before I get into the excerpts, the hard copy book is 1,831 pages. Then the book is available on Amazon.com in their e-reader Kindle library, so you can purchase it there for $29.99. You can also look at a sample. I will let you know at the end of the program about how to purchase limited copies of the hardcover book. This book is a lot about not only race and process and stats and comparative analysis, but it's so much more. And of course, I would be here all day if I tried to do excerpts from the entire book. But I'm hopefully to give you a good cross section of what the book is about and kind of titillate you a little bit to want to hear more. And here we go. I spent a lot of time in the book explaining why I wrote the book, and then there's another section where I get into all of the methodology about my assessments later. So I'm going to give a couple of little verbs on that, and people get a sense. This one is called Viewpoints May Buck Conventional Wisdom. It's from pages 16 and 17. It's in the Introduction and Methodology chapter. I recognize my views likely buck conventional wisdom. However, from a fairness standpoint, Cooperstown is not all it's cracked up to be. And for those who don't know, Cooperstown is where the location of the Baseball Hall of Fame. I'm mindful that the posture and positions I hold regarding a subject many conveniently consider taboo will likely not be well received in some circles. It would be nice if my treatise was enthusiastically received and that racism and discrimination was anathema for many folks. Unfortunately, I don't think that is the case in many arenas. For the same participants, circumstances, and environments that have led to my concerns are the same considerations that will lead several folks to insist there's no racism, or that they don't care about it even when it raises its ugly head. In such manner, I provide my treatise, and I am undaunted because societal issues as serious as race, even for a non-life and death entity like the National Baseball Hall of Fame, will typically be frowned upon by those who may feel challenged or threatened by my position on this topic. Therefore, I'm not looking for any widespread acceptance or avalanche of support by the Hall of Fame, baseball, the media, or society at large, just seeking to right some wrongs because it's problematic what has happened to deserving players. Frankly, in all walks of life, it is high time to have a straight talk about race, and that talk has to address and come to grips with the centuries-long oppression of African Americans and other groups. Unfortunately, an equally, if not more troubling issue is so many, particularly white people, don't take the issues of racism seriously, which hinders real progress. I anticipate there will be those who say my posture is nothing more than comparing the players I support with the lower rung of the hall, thereby wanting to open it up to undeserving players. Absolutely false. First and definitely foremost, the players I support are hall-worthy. Secondly, many of their accomplishments have routinely been minimized unlike others who have gotten their just due. Thirdly, several of the players I support are superior to a number of players who have been inducted, not equal to, leading to the last point here that the discrimination which kept generations of black players from playing in the major leagues appears to now subtly being used to keep them out of Cooperstown, as well as making it more difficult to get a fair and annual look by the Veterans Committee. Arguably, they have not just made it difficult to get an annual look, they have made it extremely tough to get inducted. This is not mere idle chatter. This is an issue that needs to be addressed. Cooperstown needs to rectify this pattern of injustice. They can start by conducting some serious soul searching. No pun intended. More on this later.